I've been playing Minecraft ever since its initial release in 2009. It's a game you just can't get enough of with the endless updates, each one being even greater than the last. Though something has always made me feel like Mojang was hiding something from us. And when I got an email from them asking if I wanted to test their latest build for the next update, it was an offer I just could not refuse. I gladly accepted and got details on how I'd be participating. The details specified that I was going to Mojang's headquarters where I'll meet some game devs to show me the ropes. I currently live in the same area as Mojang HQ, so it wasn't like I had to buy a plane ticket or anything. After about what I believe was a 40-minute drive, I arrived at the HQ and was greeted by two game devs, who, for the sake of this post, I will be keeping anonymous. The three of us talked for a bit over coffee for a few minutes before I was escorted into a room with Minecraft being projected onto the wall. The room was apparently meant to test out the updates and if there were any bugs of sorts in the game. These two expected an amateur player from off the streets, but that wasn't the case when they were with what they were about to witness. I knew almost every cheat in the book, though I held off for the sake of playing fair. And now a conversation, from the best of my memory. We are experimenting with a new game mode where a player can only have a certain number of lives. If they die, let's say 10 times, well, we won't spoil it for you. Haha, it's fine, I'm up for a challenge. So we booted up the game, set my world to survival mode, and my experiment began. I expected to spawn in a random biome or something, but instead I spawned into a really neatly made plaza. Right in the corner was a timer of what I remember being 10 minutes. I didn't notice the timer at first, so that's why I can't remember. The map reminded me a lot of the old tutorial worlds from Xbox and other devices. For those who may be wondering, no, Mojang doesn't make those anymore. But this really took me back to the old days of Minecraft. The days where the only bed option was just red, the days where certain wood types were a thing. You get my point. I spent my first attempt just exploring the plaza, taking it all in. Not knowing I had a certain amount of time on my hands. Just before I could start building anything, I died. What the? Oh, we forgot to tell you. The player only has a certain amount of time to collect their materials and a bed. If you don't set a spawn point before the timer runs out, you die. Oh, I see. That's fucking stupid. Oh, don't be discouraged. You still have 9 lives left. Before anyone asks, I was never told how many lives I was given initially. I think that's probably something the devs were still figuring out at the time. Oblivious, I continued playing. I got better and better with each time, even though I would never get around to making a spawn point because I could never find a bed. That is, up until my last play. The devs never gave me a heads up that I only had one play left, but I'm pretty sure that was intentional looking back on it now. This time, I actually managed to set a spawn point, meaning that I won't die unless I'm attacked by monsters or something. I built my fort right next to the plaza so I could have plenty of time to explore now since the timer was gone. This gameplay went on for about 40 minutes, flooring the devs at how good I was at the game. Soon, nighttime rolled around in the game and I had my armor and weapons ready to fight some monsters. Moments went by and I was doing really good. It was until a witch threw a potion at me. I thought it was nothing and that maybe it hit something else, but it was when my health started to go down, meaning I got hit with a splash potion of harming. I spotted a pond from a distance and jumped off the cliff I was on. To paraphrase, the cliff really wasn't that high. It was about the height where you wouldn't lose any hearts if you were to jump off. But as I was about to hit the ground, a skeleton shot me with an arrow from behind, killing me. Instead of the normal death screen with the option to either save and quit or respawn, the screen had a red hue with a skull and crossbones fading in the corner. It was like this for a few seconds before there was a timer reading, respawning in 10, 9, 8, you get the picture. Suddenly I spawned on a small island. It was just sand, grass, and one single oak tree. Usually you'd see a respawn point set when you respawned, but instead it said, "You failed the test. This is your home now." Okay, it was a little unnerving. I went on to explore the island, trying to figure out how the hell I was going to survive on here. It was then that I heard a loud roar from off screen. I turned around, seeing a birch tree forest ahead of me. As I was about to try running to the water, I couldn't move. The screen began to shake slightly before it went blurry at the sight of a large creature exploding from the ground. It was a dark purple dragon with red eyes. The color and texture was that similar to crying obsidian. The creature didn't have a name other than a bunch of jumbled text. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, it spotted me. The dragon's eyes glowed a bright red as it flapped its large wings rapidly, almost as if it were scanning me in an extent. It then lifted its head and roared so loudly that the screen shook, sending me flying into the water and the screen turning black, with "Game Over" written in red text. Needless to say, I left Mojang HQ feeling totally shaken. A few days later, there was news on one of the Minecraft forums that I follow saying that 2 game developers were reportedly fired for making an update that would be too uncanny for the younger audience that played the game. I read more of the report and it said that developers invited a, quote, fellow viewer to test it out. I put 2 and 2 together and realized these were the same devs I met when I was invited to test out a new update. The rest of the report went on to discuss, in great detail mind you, how the update was going to be a huge upgrade to the hardcore mode option for the game. For those who don't know what it means, it's basically a one-shot version of survival mode where if you die once, it's the end of the game. Thank you for reading my long rant of a post. It was frankly one of those top 3 worst experiences of my entire life. And before you ask, no, I did not quit playing Minecraft after this experience. I still love playing the game and its melting pot of updates that release each year. I'll see you guys for when the new mob is chosen from the recent vote.